focus and you be on a level. Listen, I'm never giving up. Stand your ground, don't get too comfortable or too settled. Listen, I'm never giving up. When you hit rock bottom, it's only one way to go. Listen, I'm never giving up. Everybody got problems, how you handle them, no. Yeah, listen.
Hey, I'm John.
I'm Jonathan.
And welcome to the Formula. So, Jonathan, what we gonna get into today?
Man, today we're gonna get into college athletes being paid, man. What you think about that subject? I think that's one of the touchy subjects that everyone
very controversial. Yep.
So I think it'll be a good topic for us to talk about today.
Yeah, definitely. Being that both of us have experience at the collegiate level, both of us were athletes at the collegiate level. Yeah, I think it would be something good to get into. So,
absolutely.
Me personally, I think college athletes should get paid. Mm-hmm. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely. We're not going to differ in opinion.
Okay, so we see eye to eye on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, now, but there's, okay, so should all college athletes get paid, or should just the male athletes, not the female, or just certain sports, not all sports, should it be Division I only, or see, because how you do it is, that's the big question, is how you're going to go about doing it.
Right.
So for me, I think if I had it my way, all athletes would get paid. Male, female, every sport. Mm-hmm. And then you'll have your star quarterback at Clemson who's going to make money on the side through endorsements, things of that nature. The NCAA, they voted on, allowing players to benefit, and I'm using air quotations,
right?
Benefit from your name, your likeness, your image.
Right.
So to me, that could be their bonus money. And then everybody will get a certain amount off the back. Mm-hmm. Injured or not. As long as you're on the roster, you should earn a salary, but I like to call it stipend. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the way we should do it. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I don't know if we see eye to eye on that.
One thing we need to touch on that is there's two sections. I think that we're thinking about two different areas here. Now, it sounds like to me that you're thinking that like everybody should be getting paid.
I think there should be a base salary.
Mm-hmm. Now, where's the money coming from?
That's the question. Now, from what I understand, the NCAA, and this is from 2017, so this is a while ago, they made $1.1 billion in revenue.
All right. So it's more now.
It's probably
2 years
more now.
later, much more now.
The latest number I've seen for athletic departments, every school, $14 billion altogether.
Okay. Now this is all sports combined.
This is all correct? Sports, all schools combined.
Okay. All right.
So just really quick, I came across an article, which I found very interesting. I don't remember where I found it, but I just want to read the little excerpt. So it says, in addition to allowing college athletes to make money off their likeness, Joe Nacera, sports business columnist for the New York Times, proposes paying all college athletes minimum salaries of $25,000, mm-hmm. capping coaching salaries at $650,000 for basketball coaches, $3 million for football coaches, and giving players 10% of TV and marketing revenues. So I feel like that's the kind of approach that we need to finance this whole thing.
Right. I totally agree. That would be great because like Nick Saban makes like 3 million and
Bro.
probably a whole lot more because of
Bro,
Yeah.
he makes a ridiculous amount of
right.
money.
Exactly.
So you can't tell me all these coaches you get paid and all these athletic directors, all these assistant coaches, all these trainers, all these, I don't know who else they got on campus.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nutritionists, you can't tell me they all could get paid and none of this money that they're generating could go to the players.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's just wild how much money they're making and they're just so against the kids getting paid. It's like if we want to go out, any other student who want to go out and get a job, they can go get a job.
They could.
You know?
And that's the issue is that most of these athletes, you could estimate 30 hours just dedicated to 30 hours a week just dedicated to athletics.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part-time job right there. So
Right.
instead of working on football or basketball or hockey or golf or whatever it is that you're playing, you could be out there earning money. You could be out there on a paid internship.
Mm-hmm.
You could be doing a lot of things with your time instead of basically working for the school for free.
Right.
I mean, it's a job.
Right.
It's a job. You're dedicating a lot of time to it.
Right.
And you're training even in the off season. So it's not like when the season is over, you stop playing basketball. No, you're still training during the off season too. So it's really a year round ordeal because you got to stay on top of your game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So because with them, looking at what they do for the schools, right? They bring in just say football because let's be honest, football is the driving financial revenue earner of the whole school. Really, football is gonna bring in more money than anyone else. Like because it actually brings in, there was an average. You're talking about the average revenues for the schools per sport. We're looking at football at $29,635,000. The next closest, of course, what sport would be the next?
Men's basketball?
Men's basketball. $7 million. Okay, so that's a big difference. So these kids are funding, the football teams are funding every sport at the school.
Basically.
Right? We looking at women basketball is 1 million, bringing in 1 million. And I mean, baseball isn't even on here, which is crazy. Now here go men's baseball, $1 million, $1,255,000. I mean, that's a big discrepancy. But at the same time, now they're bringing in this little amount of money, but they can actually go play pro baseball. They can make money immediately, where football players gotta wait till when they might be hurt.
Right.
Because
football you have to be at least 3 years out.
Right. So the average
3 years removed from high school.
So you're phenomenal coming out of high school. All right, you have a phenomenal freshman year. So you gotta wait 2-3 more years before you go pro. What if you get hurt within them 3 years?
Right.
But baseball player can come out of college and start making money. Mm-hmm. Come on, I mean that gets into another whole different topic. Is let's be real, like the racial aspect of it. Like so we got all these black kids that's going to school. We're told to go to school, get good grades, get a football scholarship or something, go play some pro ball so we can take care of our family. Mm-hmm. But it seems like they're continuously the NCAA will continuously put hurdles in the way of the black community doing those things that they're really good at.
They already have all these rules and restrictions on what these players can do, what these players can't do.
Right.
They can't have somebody pay for their dinner. Like I can't even take them out to eat.
Right.
Like Burger King. Like,
right.
It's but we have to keep in mind that there's a lot of money flowing around in these college sports.
Right.
Because back in the days, to get the best players, you had to slide 20 G's under the table.
Oh, it's still happening.
And it's still happening.
Right.
So all these, you could eliminate that. You could help eliminate that. Or at least, decrease the amount of corruption if you're gonna pay athletes.
Right.
Because now these athletes could say, okay, I could go to D1, D2, or D3 school and make 20 G's automatically. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So as far as the recruiting process, will it change? I don't think it'll change for the top tier athletes.
Right. Nah, that won't change.
Someone like me who I might have could have made it in D1, but if you tell me I could be the best player on a Division II school and still get 25 G's, that's an option that I'm going to look at now.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to, and remember, most of these athletes are not going pro. Mm-hmm. They're not going pro. So not only are they broke, but they can't get a job because of their athletic responsibilities and their academic responsibilities. And then they're not going pro. So it's like they're in a situation where, okay, I love this sport and I love this school and I want to play for this school, but financially speaking, I'm in a bind.
Right. So so just to go back to the money aspect, so you think $25,000 per student athlete, and that's across the board, every sport, every division?
Every sport, every division, every athlete.
So Catawba College, at Catawba College, you get 25,000.
25 G's straight cash, homie.
And then the Javion Clowney gets 25,000 too.
Yes, but Jadeveon Clowney will also get endorsements.
Right.
He'll make money off of jersey sales. He'll make money off of helping the car dealerships sell cars.
Right.
Or whoever hires him, or Nike's gonna get at him hard body already.
Absolutely.
Like Zion, he's gonna make money on the side easy. I mean, they could cake like 100 G's easy.
Exactly.
Outside of the 20 G's. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody gets a base salary, and then if you're a star player, you get that bonus using your name and your likeness and your image. Now, I did the math. Between the NCAA, the $1.1 billion, and the school's $14 billion, $15 billion, right? Mm-hmm. I put that in my calculator. I never saw so many zeros. Right. I swear, like, it took up my whole phone, like the whole screen. So many zeros. There's roughly an estimated 490,000 athletes playing collegiate sports. So if you do the math, 15 billion divided by the 490,000, you get roughly a little over 30,000 per athlete.
Okay.
So you round that down because, NCAA, they're going to say, oh, we can't give 100% of the revenue, right? So they got to pay their lawyers or whatnot, right? So you could round that down to about 25, 20 G's. Mm-hmm. I think that's fair.
Right. Yeah. And that figure don't include the overall 15 billion, right? That don't include the revenue from like the television network.
No, that's all revenue.
That's all revenue.
Yeah, that's all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And one of the challenges too is like, so this kid, the Ohio State's linebacker, I think he's Chase Young. He actually got suspended a couple weeks ago. You heard about that?
I didn't hear about that.
So he got suspended because supposedly, allegedly, a family member loaned him money. A family member. So the family member loaned him money so his, I think a friend or girlfriend or something can come to his football games. Now that's another like really touchy point. So that you want these young men to leave their environments, leave their homes to represent this school, represent the NCAA, but they can't have their families there because these kids' families can't afford to come to Ohio State from North Carolina.
Right.
You know, that's a fight, man. You know,
Right.
Even driving that, most of these kids' families don't have a car that will get to Greensboro, more or less, from Charlotte to
And that's
to
the
Ohio.
thing is they're going into these households that most of these kids are not well off. So you're going to these households where they're not well off, and you're telling them you're gonna come to my school, you're gonna make me money, you're gonna make my school popular, which will attract more students. Some people go to Duke just because they're fans of Duke basketball. That's what draws them to the school, and then they say, okay, let me look into the academics, even though they don't plan on playing on the team.
right.
You know what I mean? So you help make these schools more attractive, more popular, but then you tell them, hey, yo, you can't do anything. You can't do $100 handshakes. You can't do nothing. You can't make any money any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect these students to do? What do you expect these athletes to do? So, I don't know. I mean, the NCAA did vote on, allowing players to make money off of their image, benefit off of their image and likeness or whatnot.
And you know there's going to be a caveat, right?
You know there is.
Because that's why they're saying we're looking into
right,
it.
because they didn't give any details on how that's actually, as of right now, they haven't gotten any details out.
Because they're going to want to put their fingers in it. They're
Right.
going to get their handful of that
because
money too.
The president, Mark Emmert,
Mm-hmm.
I believe his name is, first of all, he makes over $2 million a year.
Doing nothing. Let's be real. He's doing nothing.
He's making over $2 million a year, bro.
Right.
But he's telling these athletes, you can't make not 1 cent.
Right.
So you can make all this, you can help generate all this money for these schools, but you can't get a piece of the pie.
Mm-hmm.
Something about that don't seem right. Now, at first, I didn't always feel that way. I felt like, okay, let's just give everybody scholarships and call it a day. But the more I think about it, the more I see how much money is just being thrown around. I just feel like I could have used 20 G's when I was in school.
Absolutely.
And what am I spending it on? I'm spending it on books.
Right.
I mean, I'm using that money to help further my education. It's not like I'm going to just waste the money on booze or whatnot.
Right.
I mean,
Although, there's going to be some that does.
there's going to be some that, get into that.
The weed. There's going to be a lot of them that's going to be blowing that money, so.
But when you think about it, though, 20 G's is not a whole lot.
It's not a whole lot.
It's really not that much. For these schools, for the NCAA, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah.
$20,000, $25,000, that's chump change.
Even if they do it like, so you're saying the revenue $14 billion a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even if they do it, well, still they'll be paying it every year. But if they pay each student $25,000 for the whole 4 years, that their duration of them at the school, I think that'd be good too. I mean, because like I had to take out, like we was talking about earlier, we was talking about the number of scholarships, right? So I played ball at Catawba College. That's in the South Atlantic Conference, and with Division II, we only had 36 scholarships. So,
and they're not all full scholarships.
No,
you were on partial scholarships,
right? I was on partial scholarships, like most of us there was on partial, because there's only 36 scholarships when there's over 100 kids on the team,
right?
So what I had to do is I had a breakdown. I had a little money from football, like 10,000, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. But I had some little money from football, a little money from academics or whatever. And then I had a Pell Grant, and I still had about $1,700 a year or a semester, one of the two, that I had to get a loan for.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, if they told me, hey, here's $25,000 for your entire 4 years in college while you're there, I wouldn't have had to take out more loans,
right,
to actually
get
by,
right.
Because like my family, like I said, my family couldn't, and they didn't choose to give me the money to come back and forth home. I have friends and family, loved ones that I wanted to see while I'm in school, so a little 3-hour drive wasn't nothing for me, but getting back and forth, if we need tires and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the money to do that. I had a friend that I was helping out with as well, and I had to take out a little extra money to cover that stuff because I couldn't work.
Right.
Air quotes. I couldn't work.
Because between class, studying, and athletics,
right,
ain't nobody got time for it.
But the rules, the NCAA rules, won't allow you to do it. They
won't allow you to do it anyway.
So if I was to do something,
you get in trouble.
Like these kids on YouTube.
Right.
This one kid, he was a kicker. He had a big YouTube following. They told him, hey, either you cut this YouTube off and continue to play football, or you can stop playing football.
They'll kick you off the team.
Yeah. So that's like there's no way that we can make a living while we're playing sports.
Right.
So we're kind of blackballed. So that goes into, in my adult life now I have a whole lot more student loans than I even should have had,
Mm-hmm.
because my family didn't have it like that.
So, and I'm glad you brought up the scholarship thing. So you would forfeit your scholarship for straight cash?
I would,
because I'm afraid the NCAA is going to pull one of those where they're going to be like, okay, we'll pay athletes, but we're going to take away all scholarships.
Right.
No scholarship for anybody.
Yep.
Just straight cash.
Yep. So
if looking back,
mm-hmm.
would you trade the scholarship, the whole scholarship, or whatever you got, for straight cash?
No, I wouldn't have paid it. Not straight for $25,000 a year, maybe. But
so it depends. It depends on how much they willing to pay.
Right.
If
it's $25,000 a year, again, that would have taken care of.
Because that's more than a partial scholarship that you got.
Right. Exactly. And then the challenge with that is, like, so you want us to $25,000. I don't think that's going to break down to too much when it comes down to hourly. How many hours an athlete put into their sport?
Remember, you're training year round.
Year round.
Year round.
And
it's not, you're not really taking 2 months off anywhere during the year.
And how many college students getting up at 4:30, 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work, just straight work, right?
Right.
But winter conditioning, we get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be in the gym or on the field by 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
That's winter conditioning.
Mm.
So who else is working at 5 o'clock in the morning as a student?
Right.
So student athletes deserve a whole lot more than the little scholarship. Because let's be honest, this is the general population, not just athletes. The ones that get scholarship, the ones that graduate from college, right? Most of them have the amount of money to actually live anyway, right? So they get into professions, and most of them are waitresses and waiters, and they don't make any money, right? So their scholarship didn't help them out at all, really.
Right, because
But we helped the school out.
exactly. Exactly.
It's great to say that we got this scholarship. Oh, I graduated from Catawba College, prestige college.
Right.
One of the top 5 colleges.
It's all about value, and you were worth more than that scholarship.
Yeah, my pride of going to Catawba isn't worth as much as providing for my family.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I got friends of mine that they dropped out of college. They made way more money than me because they got ahead of the game of making money.
Mm-hmm.
We're all not like you said earlier. We're all not going pro.
Right.
So my friends that got ahead of me to making the money, they're making way more than me because I wanted to play football and give the college all this money. You know,
Mm-hmm.
The college making all this money off of the college athlete. You know, it's just wild, man.
Yeah. So I mean, and the NCAA, they're feeling pressure because you saw what happened in California, where the governor, he's trying to pass a bill, dealing with this issue.
Mm-hmm.
And there are other states, from what I hear, there are other states also in the works of finding a way to get these college athletes get that paper.
Right.
So, I mean, if every state, one by one, if they start doing this, the NCAA, they can't fight each state. They're just not going to have the money and the resources to fight all 50 states.
Right. But
so they're gonna have something's gotta happen.
Mm-hmm.
Something's gonna happen. Where because the NCAA, they're feeling the pressure.
But the challenge with that is they're already starting to head off that. I don't know if you know about this part, but there's a someone in the government. I don't remember who it is. I know Richard Burr has something to say about it as well. But what they want is they want to tax any athlete.
The states.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, not the state. They want to tax any athlete that actually receive money of their likeness. And that's the funny thing.
Well, who wants to tax? The NCAA?
No, the government. So they're presenting a bill now. Now they're trying to tax. They didn't say anything about taxing the money that they make off their likeness. But of course they're going to tax that because it's income, right?
Right.
But they want to tax the scholarship. They want to tax the scholarship.
So let's go with my theory, and all college athletes get a $20,000 stipend.
Right.
They're going to tax that 20 G's.
They want to tax the actual scholarship.
Oh.
So the scholarship. So if you get a full ride at Ohio State, North Carolina, University of North Carolina, they want to tax however that scholarship. I think it's maybe the average $25,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
They want to tax that $25,000.
Mm.
Like, so what they're doing is they're finding every way they can. It's bad to say this, man, but there's no other way around this, and we gotta stop being blind to it, and that's everybody, not just one sector of people. We gotta stop being so blind to this, but they want, when you look at it like that, like just the clear facts, okay, you want to get these kids money, but you want to tax them on money that they don't really have, so you want to tax them for money that they're not getting this football scholarship money in their pockets. this going straight to the school.
Right. You don't see none of that scholarship money.
You don't see any of that.
You don't see any of it.
So they're just continually to want to hold
Us.
these kids back. Man.
Hold us.
Yes, exactly. Like they don't want the black athlete, the black population to get ahead at all. Like at all. I mean, you want to tax the scholarship, man? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's insane, man.
So that's just crazy. So in doing that, I think that maybe the NCAA should think about changing the amateurism rules around sports, because they're really being workers for the
It's free
NCAA.
labor.
Yeah,
it's free labor.
Free labor.
It's
Yeah.
basically what it is.
Yeah, it's not
free
even
labor.
It's not even what you call it. It's not even sharecropping, is it?
Right. It's not. It's free. It's not even indentured servitude.
That's what I'm looking for,
It's
too.
straight. It is straight up free labor.
It's free labor. It's
Straight up.
straight up free labor, man.
So, it's real unfortunate that, and it's been taking so long for us to even get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this should have happened like 50 years ago.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's insane, man. It's
Right.
insane.
But
I think all athletes should get paid.
Right.
Every sport, male and female. All of these athletes work hard and they put in the time and the effort and the hard work, and they get their relatives to come to the school. Their relatives spend money. Their relatives and their friends.
Yep.
They give money. You got alumni. Because if I got a brother, I'm going to tell my brother to come to the school that I went to.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm automatically recruiting people for you for the school.
Right.
I feel like they should get a piece of the pie. The problem is the NCAA, they're going to fight it tooth and nail.
Mhm.
And then
They got the government in the pocket.
And then the government, they're also,
Yeah.
it's also going to be some shady things going on at that level too.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't, like you said, open your eyes. You can't really trust anybody.
Right.
You can't trust nobody. Because the only people who want college athletes to get paid are actual college athletes.
Exactly.
Everybody else is cock blocking straight.
Right.
They're just straight up cock blocking.
Right.
And it's like, sure, I could be one of those, oh, I didn't get paid when I went to college. I don't want anybody else. Nah, because our generation is supposed to leave. Every generation is supposed to live better than the previous.
Exactly.
That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we're supposed to set it up for the next generation so they're good. I got a kid. She might have a kid. You know what I mean? So it's we shouldn't look at it from an individual standpoint. We should look at it as what's best. If you're really serious about what's best for these college athletes, then you should want them to get paid.
Right. Yep. That's what it's all boils down to. We have to, and most importantly, the NCAA and the government need to really think about what's best for the kid. What's the minimum we can give these kids so we can get the maximum in our hand. You know, because guys, you're already getting free money hand and fist all over the place. So
and is it Mark Emmert?
I think it is.
Was
Mark
that his
Emmert.
name?
I think it is his name. Yeah.
He's not going to have to take a pay cut.
Yeah. So we don't even know his name, and he making $2 million. You know.
But the point is, he's not going to have to take a pay cut to pay these athletes. He still gets his $2 million.
Mm-hmm.
So what the problem is?
Right.
you still get yours. These schools still gonna make their money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 20 G's for every athlete, that's really chump change.
Mm-hmm.
That's chump change, considering it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So, I mean, that's where I stand with it.
And a lot we can go a whole nother segment on this, maybe a few more segments, but like when that's what kind of frustrates me with the whole idea of leave sports and politics separate.
They know you can't.
But politics is in sports.
Look at Colin Kaepernick. Look at Colin Kaepernick.
I mean, let's look at the situation.
They made that whole situation political.
But look at the situation we're talking about right here today.
Right.
We're talking about college athletes now, students, man. You're talking about 18 to 22-year-old kids. The government want to take money out of their pocket if they make money. Like, they're not making zero money right now. The scholarship.
It's against the rules.
Right. They're making zero money.
It's against the rules for them to make money.
But the politics that's making it political,
right?
They're going in there and doing that. That's so them keeping this politics and sports separate. They're not doing it.
They're not doing it.
They're supposed to be the leaders of the nation, right?
Right.
It's crazy.
You would think, right?
Right.
So, I think we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna wrap it up. If you agree, if you disagree, if you have any questions for us, any concerns, any comments,
your experience as a college athlete,
your experience, your story, let us know. Hit us up. Instagram, Twitter, The Formula Productions, YouTube. Subscribe. Leg drop that like button. Just try to support us and try to support the show as much as we can. So, I mean, that's where I stand with it.
Yeah, man. We really appreciate all of our followers, all of our friends and family, and everyone that's been...
tell a friend and tell a friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell a friend about this podcast, and I hope that we are providing some good content that will not only provoke thought, but, maybe change some lives. All right, guys, that's the formula.
Ignoring the pain itself. Switch knees and switch speeds, plus it came. What else? Broke her back to get it done with no one's help. Matter of fact, that's the pun. When no one helps, gotta find a way to get it done with no one else. When no one helps, gotta find a way to get it done. Yeah. Never let her bring you down, 'cause it can be on it. Down, 'cause it can be on it. Down, 'cause